Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here on a Piney podcast on this rainy Friday night. Beer virus, 823 new cases, 5 more deaths, hospitalizations rise above 700 again. It's funny, we hadn't heard anything about the hospitalizations while they were going down, down, down. Now suddenly, oh, here's the hospitalization. The statewide transmission rate rose to 1.18 and remains above the key benchmark of 1 blah blah blah. So, I don't know if Murphy's setting us up for a new lockdown or if he's just trying to drag his feet until the election's over. I kind of think the latter. I was saying to someone today, I think Murphy's whole strategy is like, what's that guy doing? He's locking everything down. And what's that guy doing over there? Oh, he's opening everything up. Well, what if we do both? So when he runs for re-election, he can go, oh, did you people like the lockdowns? Oh, I locked down. Yeah, I locked things down. I didn't lock it all down like some people, but I locked it down. And if people don't like the lockdowns, he can go, oh, I opened things up. I opened things way up. Now, I didn't open it all the way, but I opened it pretty far. See, he's got the best of both worlds. Murphy announces New Jersey Health Exchange unemployment assistance at beer virus press briefing. What is this from? This was yesterday. So, Murphy announced the launch of the state's official health insurance marketplace, Get Covered New Jersey, during his beer virus press briefing in Trenton. The exchange is now open to Garden State residents to browse health plans, compare prices, and find out if they may qualify for financial helps ahead of the ACA open enrollment period that begins November 1st. Joan, relax. I'm doing the thing. We're doing the thing. Here, come over here. Let's not even mess around. I don't even know why I have a camera for you anymore. I don't even know why I got a camera for you. You just end up sitting here. Anyhow, the ACA is still up and running in New Jersey. We'll probably be the last state to close it down. And in other politics, Insider New Jersey, of course, seems to always favor the Democrats. Stockton poll: Biden Booker lead in New Jersey, but Trump competitive in South Jersey. Well, I guess that's accurate. I don't know. Certainly South Jersey, Pineys. There's a lot of Trump fans down here, and there tends to be more Democrats. I'll say hardened Democrats in the north, but we'll see. I like a lot of places. I think. First off, I don't think Cory Booker's popular at all. I think people they get stuck with senators and they rarely vote them out. Now I wouldn't vote for Cory Booker simply because he's a Democrat. I mean, there was a time where I thought, oh, he seems like a cool guy. He helped people. There was a story about him helping people in a fire. Joan, how do you get this in your face? All the time you get stuff in your face. Ugh. It's a mess. You're a mess. And there were a few other stories. Just sit here. But, as a politician, he's horrible, in my view. So, I think people just vote him in because he's Democrat, and they go, Democrat. People I think, are lazy that way. And this is a very blue state, so it'll probably go blue again, but who knows? I won't be voting for Cory Booker. No, thank you. I hear he's in the pocket of Big Pharma. That's where he gets a lot of his money, apparently. Yeah, I mean, he's a younger guy, but he said a lot of stupid things in Congress. His whole Spartacus moment. It was just dumb. And his grandstanding during the Amy Coney Barrett hearings, not smart. I mean, it's like he has a staff and they do all the thinking for him, and he just repeats what they say. And maybe he had a better staff when he was, a mayor And now that he's in the big leagues, he's got a bunch of tone deaf, hardened Democrats telling him what to say, and they're just idiots. This post was on the South Jersey subreddit, and the caption was Clayton, the Florida of South Jersey. It was a pretty funny story. Man swallowed bullet, chewed shell casings to hide evidence in killing, prosecutor says. A man charged in connection with the shooting death, now that's not funny, of a Clayton residence allegedly swallowed shell casings and even a live round to hide evidence, prosecutor alleged this week. Ugh. Poor cop who had to find that evidence. Back-to-back detention hearings were held Wednesday for Glassboro residents. Wow, that's a tough name. Victor A. Kagnazev, 20, and Christopher D. Velez, 21, who were arrested in the killing of David Kardonik. Superior Court Judge Mary Beth Kramer ordered both men remain jailed pending trial. Velez is charged with murder, while Kagnazev is charged with accomplice in murder. Both face multiple weapon offenses. Where's the part where he swallowed? Well, the situation began with an internet beef, quote unquote, between the victim's son and another man, said Gloucester Assistant Prosecutor Jonathan Grextaz. Jeez. That other man, whose name New Jersey Advanced Media is withholding because he is not charged, brought Kagnazev into the dispute, which took place via text and video game conferencing platforms. Oh, God, they were probably playing Call of Duty. And the argument then continued without the other individual, Grextaz said. The nature of the dispute was not disclosed. Kagnazev allegedly hatched a plan to, quote, secure money from Kardonik's son. Prosecutors say Kagnazev gave Velez a silver .22 caliber revolver and told him to get the cash and shoot anyone who resisted. Oh my God. People are living in a dream world. Maybe they were playing Grand Theft Auto. The pair traveled to Kardonik residence on September 28th. Velez walked up to the apartment door and knocked. When the victim answered, Velez stuck the gun through the opening. Kardonik tried to close the door, but Velez forced it open and fired twice, hitting the victim once in the forehead. Oof. Kardonik, 48, was hospitalized and died days later. Video surveillance shows Velez calmly walking to the apartment and back to the car after the shooting. Grextaz says he returned the gun to Kagnazev, who allegedly took extreme measures to hide evidence. Specifically, he chewed and swallowed 2 of the shell casings and then swallowed 1 live round, all 3 of which had to be surgically recovered. Grextaz says, what a moron. Why wouldn't you just get rid of it all? Like throw it in a lake somewhere. That doesn't make any sense. Unless, like, the cops were right there. Public defenders of both men challenged a probable cause. How did they even know? Here was the argument at the trial, I guess. The purpose of this case was not to shoot. It was not to kill. It was to intimidate, said the public defender, Frank Unger, arguing on behalf of Velez. That means if the probable cause statement is to be believed, his purpose was not to commit a homicide, but rather to scare the victim. It seems like a distinction without a difference. So, wow, this just goes on and on. That's crazy, though. Why would you swallow the bullets? It doesn't make any sense to me. After Kramer made a ruling, or the ruling detaining him, an angry Kagnazev cursed and stormed out of the video booth. Both men are due back in court December 3rd. Whew. Yeah. I think those guys are going to jail, probably. Sounds that way. And speaking of jail, looks like it's a little worse for the guys going. Atlanta County jail officer accused of smuggling drugs and phones. Well, this is the problem with jail. This is the problem with drug laws. You can't keep them out of jail. How do you expect to keep them out of the hands of the locals? And this is what happens. A correction officer, and it's not like all of them. I have relatives who work in this field, but there's always one guy. There's always one guy. A correction police officer at the Atlantic City County Jail was charged with official misconduct conduct after investigators found he smuggled drugs, cell phones, and other contraband into the facility. Yeah, that's bad. Can't do that. So, um, that's not good. And here's some other stuff that's not good. 3 years of noise. Boom parties disrupt life in South Jersey. Local authorities recently met to discuss loud parties from across the bridge that are keeping South Jersey residents up at night. I read about this before, and it was like, I've never heard of this, but I'm not that close to Philadelphia. One late night in 2017, Ann Smith was awakened by the shaking of her house. Her house is on the riverbank in Palmyra, and her windows and floors were rattling. She soon learned that it was due to loud music, which was already to place the blame on her neighbors. There was a new woman who had just moved to the neighborhood, and she couldn't believe the noise that was coming from her house, but it wasn't her. Another neighbor blamed me, she said. We were all blaming each other. It was like an episode of The Twilight Zone. And just like the monsters are due on Maple Street, I got the title of that wrong yesterday. The problem didn't... It's so weird. It's in an article. I just mentioned that episode yesterday. The problem didn't come from that neighborhood. It came from Philadelphia. It hasn't stopped for 3 years. Holy crap. The noise comes from huge sound speakers across the river, according to Cinnaminson police. Speakers produce 175 decibels of sound that impact 100 square miles of South Jersey, including Cinnaminson, Palmyra, Delran, Pennsauken, Oakland, Westville, Collingswood, and Gloucester City. Those are places I know. They're all kind of near me. That's just crazy. Why would you play music that loud? What would be the point? You'd be deafened by it. I mean, I get it if you're having a party, maybe you want music, and you even want it to be loud, but why that loud? I mean, I think anything over like 110 starts to damage your ears. 175, you got to be like blowing out your eardrums. Some things are just a fad, although I thought it would be over by now, said a Westville resident who wanted to be identified as Jeff Ray. Ray organized a Facebook page for South Jersey residents to express their frustrations. The noise, which include drag racing, rages from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., keeping many residents awake all night. Residents have posted videos of the noise and stories about their issues in the group. The parties are labeled boom parties by some and are organized get-togethers by people of other cultures. What does that mean? They're taking place on undeveloped land in Philadelphia, and the noise travels from the speakers that are mounted on cars across the river and hits South Jersey neighborhoods. There may be one car or there may be 5 cars, but the resulting sound is enough to impact the quality of life in South Jersey residents. Well, that sucks. However, I-95 is blocking the noise in Philadelphia. As a result, it's undetectable across the bridge. Weird. It shakes people's houses, said Calabrese, who participated in a meeting with the Philadelphia police and residents on the impacted towns Tuesday. Yeah, why don't you do something about this, Philly? Get the hell out there. Your cops are... This is the perfect thing for them. They go out, they bust people up. I mean, that's a serious situation. That's impacting a lot of people. 100-mile radius. Jesus. Where the hell are you, Philly? The goal... We learned from Captain Walker in regard to the amount of dedicated manpower and resources the Philadelphia police have been allocating towards the issue already, Calabrese said in a message to the concerned parties published online after the meeting. Also, this is a problem that does not just center around boom parties. It's also a major contributor to the issue. He said the goal was to create a long-term plan that would cut down the noise. It involves law enforcement, but involves other strategies, including gathering accurate intelligence of the area which the noise is generating from. Why don't you just send the cops down there and tell these idiots to get lost? Why don't you just find them? It can't be legal to have that many speakers in your car. It can't be legal to make that much noise. It just can't. I mean, I don't see why you need to seek out grants to help financially to create noise reduction methods. Listening to the public's complaints in an open forum. Why not just go arrest these people? They're disrupting things. Disorderly conduct. It's a noise complaint. Go out there and find them. 175 decibels is too loud. Why do you need a special thing for that? Oh, you're gonna be. Oh, we're afraid it's gonna be considered racist. It's not racist. It's noisy. Just tell them to turn down the music. They don't listen. Fine them. Cite them. Arrest them. Take their car. Take their loud car. Yeah, impound it. Uh, you know, I don't see why this wasn't solved in like 1 hour. It's been going on for 3 years. And you are upsetting the Pineys, Philadelphia, and you don't want to look at this car. It's ridiculous. That shouldn't be legal. All the friggin' laws about cars, you're telling me this is legal to blast speakers like that across the river and wake people up? No. No, 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 no. That's too loud. It'd be the same thing if they were if these things shot out smoke and it went across the river and people couldn't breathe. You wouldn't think twice about arresting people. Arrest them, impound them, fine them. If they're gonna be irresponsible like this, they're impacting other people. That this is a clear violation of the non-aggression principle. It's clear. So stupid. Oh, we got to have a special meeting and talk about things. What is there to talk about? Go write some citations. If you keep fining these idiots, they're spending all their money on speakers. Eventually, the fines will cause them to go, spend a lot of money on these fines. Duh. Maybe I'll turn down the music. Owner of several South Jersey malls possibly headed to bankruptcy court. I know this mall, Cumberland Mall. It's not really a mall. These kinds of malls, these are the outside malls. This isn't an inside mall. If you think the beer virus pandemic had a significant impact on shopping habits across the country, you're obviously correct. That impact is on display front and center at shopping malls, which are seeing a decrease in foot traffic. Well, of course. It's probably killing these malls. Let's see, what do you have in this one? Marshalls, Dick's, Verizon, Petco, Ulta, I don't know what this one, Predaperks, Burlington Coat Factory, Boscov's, Bed Bath & Beyond, and an Applebee's. This is not one I would go to. Michael's, maybe the Michael's. I've had to go to Michael's for various things, various project things, because I do art stuff. Not that I'm a craft guy, but, sometimes I need supplies, paints, paper, whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of empty stores. This is going to be, in the area I live in, it's not, it was on its way back, and now it's going to be economically depressed again. And we've been through this before, you just see strip malls. They're just empty. There's just empty strip malls, or there's like one thing, the Chinese food place hangs on, or like one place continues to hang on while all the other ones are like for rent. That's what you're going to see in the coming months. You're just going to see for rent signs everywhere, and so invest in that. Invest in a for rent sign store. And finally, to end on a happy note, medical marijuana firm continues its search for a South Jersey site. A firm that describes itself as the world's largest cannabis company is seeking a site for a medical marijuana dispensary in South Jersey. Curaleaf initially thought that location would be on Route 73 in Mount Laurel, but its application was rejected last month by the Township Zoning Board. Well, screw you. There's plenty of other places, although that's a busy spot, so I understand why they took it. They need it. They need a busy spot. There's going to be tons of empty stores here, Curaleaf. Give it a couple of months, and they'll be begging you to come back. People will be falling all over themselves to give you a storefront. Believe me. So, the company noted it won unanimous approval last month from Bordentown Township's Planning Board for a proposed site on the northbound Route 130 near Ward Avenue. That building has been the home of Stony Brook Sew and Vacuums. Curaleaf said it's currently in the planning process for that new location, which is expected to open next year. Next year? Well, I guess you got to wait until the vote, but I guess next year isn't that far away now that I think about it. Massachusetts-based Curaleaf already operates a South Jersey dispensary in Belmar, which opened May 2018. So look for that, New Jersey. And I'm hoping they're going to legalize it to the point where they could have marijuana bars, because I think that would be a good thing. Would create jobs and income. And believe me, I know a lot of people. I'm not a smoker, but man, just about everybody else I know, they'll be lining up to get their kush. Let me tell you. And that's it, South Jersey. Joan and I are going to make some other videos, and we will see you next time.